Tonight, after 19 months, the U.S. is making plans to open its land borders with our northern neighbors. Plus, revolutionary robots could soon be coming to a town near you. We'll introduce you to the high-tech humanoids. And Girl from the North Country is taking the big stage in New York. How the musical is paying homage to our local history.
From CBS 3 Duluth, this is the CBS 3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Thanks for joining us. For the first time in nearly 2 years, the U.S. will open its land borders for non-essential travel. The Biden administration made the announcement last night. It means fully vaccinated people will be allowed to cross from Minnesota to Canada and back, regardless of the reason for travel. CBS 3's Kendall Jarbo explains the impact on Minnesota's border cities and the businesses that have waited a long time for this reopening. In August, Canada opened its borders to vaccinated U.S. citizens, giving a small boost to Ryden's border store in Grand Portage.
We were super happy it opened then, and we did see some fishermen, just not as busy as we would have liked. So now that this opening is coming, it's really going to help.
Sales at Ryden's have been down more than 80% for almost 2 years. They're counting on Canadians to come in the winter when tourists typically don't.
If it couldn't be sooner, this is great. We'll take it.
Businesses in International Falls also rely heavily on border travel. They're cautiously optimistic on how the new rules will play out.
We're excited that the option is back on the table, that they are welcome to more freely travel within the U.S. if they're fully vaccinated. And so we do plan to hopefully see that impacted in local retail numbers and just our communities as a whole.
The general sentiment among border communities, while this could have come sooner, they're glad it's finally here.
So we really didn't understand why it took so long to reopen, but we're very happy it did.
The border reopening is set for early November. A similar easing of restrictions is also set to kick in then for air travel. All international visitors must be vaccinated. Minnesota's political leaders are reacting to the border reopening. U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar represents Minnesota. She works closely with the Canadian Parliament and has advocated to safely open both land and air travel between the two countries. She led a bipartisan group to seek clarification from the CDC on the medical justifications for the United States ban on travelers from entering the country by land, but not by plane.
I thought it was a crazy situation that you could fly from Montreal to Miami or from Ottawa to the Twin Cities, but you could not drive unless you were an essential worker. You could not drive from Thunder Bay to Duluth.
Klobuchar says opening the border will bring more workers and commerce back to the region. And Congressman Pete Stauber represents many of Minnesota's border towns. On Facebook today, the Republican said he pressed the Biden administration on this for months and added it's welcome news for many families and businesses in our region. Minnesota's junior senator is demanding answers from the Postmaster General after he slowed down mail delivery. This month, first-class mail delivery times went from 2 or 3 days to 5 days. Senator Tina Smith says seniors, people with limited mobility, and people living in rural and tribal areas rely on the mail system for things like prescriptions and paying bills. She wants the Postmaster General to explain the changes and answer for why Smith claims he's undermining the post office instead of innovating.
Post offices could be a center for providing, Wi-Fi service, for providing other kind of connectivity for people. And that's the kind of work that the Postmaster General should be encouraging, not this kind of cutting back service strategy that he seems to have.
Smith says she's also sponsoring legislation that would roll back the rule requiring the post office to pre-fund its health care costs for 75 years. It's the only federal agency required to do this, and Smith says it's a big contributor to the office's financial struggles. Minnesota's highest court says workers' comp can't cover medical marijuana. The state Supreme Court made that ruling today, saying the drug is still illegal under federal law. This overturns a lower court's orders, which asks employers to pay for medical marijuana to treat work-related injuries. Federal law prohibits prescribing and possessing marijuana even if State laws authorize it. The court says that blocks employers from being required to pay for medical cannabis. Well, Dave joins us now for a quick look at the weather. Dave, during the 5 o'clock, we saw those waves really rolling on Lake Superior.
Yeah, the winds are kicking up here at the head of the lakes, more than 20 miles per hour, so not a great night for boating or swimming. And it's so late in the season, maybe it's time to forget those dreams. Let's take a look, though, on the other side of the lake towards Ashland and Chequamegon Bay. It looks pretty calm there. And, of course, close to the lake, the fall colors haven't really peaked yet. A little bit here and there, and you can see a couple of those trees have lost all their leaves, but there's still a lot of green. So I think there's going to be some decent viewing for the weekend when things clear up again. But a clear sky tonight is going to be difficult to achieve. We've got this occluded low coming our way. It's the last in a long line of lows that have been trying to bring clouds and rain. Tonight's payoff is a 40 to 60% chance around our region. We'll talk about rain totals in just a bit, but first we look at the odds. Yeah, 60%, especially for Minnesota tonight. Then the rain goes away tomorrow, but it remains cloudy. Will it stay that way the whole weekend? I've been hinting it won't, so I'll talk about when it'll clear up in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Tonight, a former high school football coach is explaining his decision to quit after accusations of player misconduct canceled the season. Derek Parendo resigned as a teacher and head football coach in Proctor this week. This comes as police continue their weeks-long investigation into what the school district is calling student misconduct on the football team. Neither police or school officials have commented on the nature of those allegations, citing the ongoing investigation. Parendo says he was not present when the incident in question happened, but he says people are threatening his family.
When the principal told me that I couldn't be safe, he didn't know if I was going to be safe in school. That was it. The environment I've lived in for the last 13 years has been horrible, and I've tried to move past it, move around it, and I've seen very little movement in the change in environment.
Parendo believes members of the school board and administration treat him differently because of his Native American heritage. The school district wouldn't comment on that. Police told us their investigation should wrap up this week. Hibbing police are putting extra patrols at Washington Elementary this week to watch for vandalism. School officials have reported damage to school property, including in the learning forest. No word on how much damage has been done. Police say anyone with information should call 911. The Grand Rapids Fire Department has a new building to call home. The city recently held a ribbon-cutting ceremony with Mayor Dale Christie and an open house for its new fire hall. The new quarters is located just north of the Itasca Resource Center building. The Grand Rapids City Council approved the new fire hall last summer and sold the old fire hall on Northeast 5th Street to Itasca County. Their goal is to expand the county's jail facilities. A revolutionary robot developed right here in Duluth could be the next big thing in healthcare. For the first time in the U.S., robots will help care for our senior citizens, thanks to a partnership between a UMD professor and a healthcare management group. CBS 3's Abigail Smith gives us an inside look at what these bots can do.
These eerily human-like robots are set to provide emotional, physical, and cognitive support to patients in innovative ways.
Of course. The intelligent robots are able to hold a conversation with anyone. From asking about pain severity to just telling jokes, these robots are ready to revolutionize healthcare technology. Professor of Computer Science at UMD, Arshia Khan, and her students are responsible for creating them. Khan says as big of an opportunity this is, even bigger things are coming.
So this is just the start. This is a 2-year start and pilot program, and then we plan to continue this, plan to do this in the kitchen. There's more robots coming. There's more applications coming.
The bots are scheduled to be placed in Minnesota-based Monarch Healthcare and nursing home facilities starting January.
16 of these robots will be dropped off at 8 different Monarch Health Management facilities, possibly changing medical technology forever.
Thanks, Abigail. Now, these robots won't replace human care. And tonight at 10, we'll hear from leaders at Monarch Healthcare Management who say the robots are not only great for the company's future, but the world's future, too. Duluth will be in the spotlight on Broadway tonight. Girl from the North Country, a musical set in the Zenith City, premieres tonight. It features Northland native Bob Dylan's music and takes place in 1934 in Duluth. The show follows residents of a Duluth guest house as they live through the hardships of the Great Depression. Dylan's music is reimagined for the show, stylized to match the 1930s setting. The cast and creative team took inspiration from old photos of Duluth.
You see these stellar photographs of this landscape and like Lake Superior, and these black and white photographs of all the different types of people that lived and worked in the area. And it gives you just a rush of imagination.
The musical was open for about a week before the pandemic closed down all Broadway productions back in March of 2020. For more information on the show, you can head to our website, cbs3duluth.com. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, it's been more than a century since Minnesota's largest natural disaster. We're remembering the tragedy next.
Well, today's weather, warmer than normal once again by about 6 degrees. That's been the trend for the past week. It may be the trend here for the next week as well. On top tonight, we've got clouds and a chance for rain and fog as well, as you can see already hitting Spirit Mountain with this live look outside. Well, we'll take a look at the 7-day forecast and see how long these conditions will last right after this break.
One of our biggest furniture events of the year, the Labor Day sale at Slumberland. Take an additional 25% off our already low prices. We have an incredible assortment of everything for your home, from sleep to sectionals to decor.
This is totally you.
Oh. Yeah, this is the winner. Well, hello, Slumberland.
Get your look for less at the huge Labor Day sale at Slumberland.
But my family has noticed that I smile for the first time in 20 years. And not only do I smile a lot now. And it's one great feeling. It made the difference between me having really awful teeth to somebody who is going around grinning like an idiot.
Never be afraid to smile again. Call Lake Dental today for your free smile analysis.
Preparing for a change? Whether you're downsizing to simplify or find yourself with an empty nest, visit yournorthlandhome.com. View comprehensive information that will help you find your new home with JS Realty, with guides such as questions to ask yourself before downsizing. Yournorthlandhome.com has all the information you need to find a place that feels like home. Download your free guide today at yournorthlandhome.com.
Kids and dogs, you gotta love them. But when in the wear is too much and it's time to replace those floors, visit Cloquet Flooring for fresh ideas.
Hello, I'm Shelley. We all know replacing flooring in your home is a sizable investment. With Mohawk's All Pet Protection and Warranty covering all pets, all accidents, all the time, we've got you covered. Contact Cloquet Flooring today to get your free in-home estimate or visit us online at cloquetflooring.com. See our virtual showroom.
Serving with hometown pride, Cloquet Flooring.
Be a little bit brave. Don't ever be afraid to.
We got a couple questions.
Do you think it's time for schools to reopen?
There is some positive breaking news.
We've got a lot of important new information for you and your family.
School visits are an important part of kind of being part of the community outside of the TV station here. When I was in 6th grade, that's when I learned meteorology was it for me. Being on the other side of that now, for me being able to kind of pursue that, it's important for me to then be able to get back into the community. If I can go into a classroom and get just one person who was interested, or just one person who, you know, leaves there knowing like, wow, I learned something new today. For me, I did my job, and that means a lot to me.
Watch meteorologist Caitlin Moffitt weekdays at 5 a.m. Get your news on the go, the CBS 3 mobile app. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Last night, a lot of folks were buzzing about the possibility of the northern lights breaking out. And of course, my enthusiasm was dampened a little bit by clouds and a chance for rain. That really didn't dampen the landscape as much as it could. So Up the North Shore, Hayes Scriven, the guy who runs Split Rock Lighthouse, doing a great job taking over for Lee Radzak, who did the job greatly for many years. But anyway, looks like Hayes got up into the lighthouse and then looked to the north and got this picture. So the viewing was nice last night. Tonight, I don't think it is going to pay off because the clouds will be even thicker and the rain chance will be better. I'll talk about how much rain could fall overnight after this look at the current conditions. These conditions, of course, come from up over the hill at the airport while we take a look at a live picture of down the hill right by the lake. And even when it's gray and gloomy, it's kind of beautiful out there, you know. Looks like gray Neapolitan ice cream in the sky. Current conditions, 57 degrees at the airport. Yeah, 93% for the relative humidity. Oh, my iron range inflection really popped out there for a second. East wind, 18 miles per hour, 29.57 inches of mercury of barometric pressure. That's on the low side, and that's because a low, one last one, is slated to come through the area tonight. Current temps, low 60s from Watersmeet to Ironwood. In Wisconsin, it looks like we're still running about 58 in Superior to 65 in Ashland, with lower 60s from Solon Springs to Hayward, and in the middle of the pack there for LaPointe and Red Cliff and probably Washburn and Bayfield too. Minnesota numbers, mid-50s along the Canadian border from International Falls through Orr and Bike and Crane Lake towards Ely. Same deal for much of the Mesabi range, mid-50s. And getting down to the south, Moose Lake's as warm as 63. And these temperatures look familiar. We've had them the past couple of days. And I think we'll have them for the next week ahead. So a little bit warmer than normal, but not drastically so. Low pressure system coming our way from the west. It's got the clouds in the area. Earlier today, most zones saw at least a little bit of shower activity, even Wisconsin and Michigan, but most of it is expected to fall in Minnesota. And tonight, again, that trend will hold true as our occluded low, the last in a line of them, comes through the area with 60% chances for rain here. What's going to follow? Well, once we get into tomorrow, the low moves away. The precip will leave us too, but the clouds will still follow in the wake of the low as it leaves. So dry but cloudy for Thursday. Should improve a little bit by Friday. How much rain could we get? Overnight tonight, about a tenth to another third or so for the area. Now we look at the forecast tonight and see the range of low temps in Minnesota will dip into the 40s. 60% chance for rain for that state. Getting into Wisconsin and the UP, 45 to 47. 40% rain chance. Windy all across the board. Southerly in general, 10 to 20. Tomorrow, the winds are still gusty, southwesterly 10 to 20. Partly sunny sky pops up in Wisconsin and Michigan with highs from 53 to 57. The normal is 54. Minnesota numbers could be as cool as 49 towards Hibbing, Chisholm, and Nashwauk, Keewatin. Hey, maybe even Taconite as well. 50 to 54 for the rest of the Gopher State. Cloudy sky, overcast. But that should break up on Friday. And then we get a sunny weekend with highs from 55 to 60, which may not sound impressive, Kristen, but if the normal is 54, we'll play the odds. Ha, we are warmer than normal. And sunshine to boot. Check out, if I was Canadian, you know, the beautiful colors. Or get your summer toys put away or go for one last ride, that sort of thing.
I love it. I plan to go to the Redhead Mountain Bike Park and hike on Saturday, so that is the kind of weather I like to see, because it won't be wet trails. So
that is
perfect.
true, and that old bike of mine needs at least one more ride before I put her away.
Gotta do it. Thanks, Dave. This week marks 103 years since the worst natural disaster in Minnesota history. On October 12th of 1918, a smoldering spark from a train ignited a fire near Cloquet. Minnesota was in the midst of an extreme drought, and gusty hurricane-like winds fueled the flames. News of the oncoming fire didn't reach Duluth until days later. That was when the fire engulfed the small town of Brookston and eventually hit Duluth. More than 1,000 lives were lost. According to the National Weather Service, the hardest hit areas were Moose Lake, Cloquet, and Kettle River. 38 communities were destroyed, and there was $73 million in property damage. Well, millions of dollars could be on the way to help Minnesotans impacted by this year's drought. The Minnesota DNR has $13 million worth of ideas. They include spending money on tree rehabilitation and helping cities and towns create plans to conserve water. The entire state entered the drought warning phase in mid-July. Well, Alexis joins us now to talk about what's going on in sports.
Yeah, definitely not a drought with sports at all, especially with hockey, because lace up your skates, clear weekend plans. Your men and women Bulldogs are hosting the Icebreaker tournament this weekend. We'll include lots of thrill and a few top 10 matchups. Iowa Real in Sports next.
Join us weeknights. We're live at 5 as we go around the Northland city by city.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS 3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night. CBS 3 Live Cams, brought to you by KohlerChef.com, now featuring the Kohler Express Deal online buying solution. KohlerChef.com, a better way to buy.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. From value-priced softeners to the world's best and even salt-free. No one has more solutions than Culligan to customize the best filtration for your home. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites, and always a smile.
You won't read about my mom in the history books, but she's gonna change history forever. You'll never learn about her in school, but she'll redefine everything we know. She's not a scientist or a doctor, but she's gonna help save a lot of lives. My mom works at MediaCom, and they're going to bring us one of the world's first 10G broadband platforms. Mom says, dream big.
The big 6% instant rebate is back. Hi, John with Prime Appliance, and yep, that's right. You'll get an additional 6% off in the floor price instantly when you pay at the counter. What could be sweeter? Get a Gallant's 10 cubic foot chest freezer. Regular price $649, sale price $569, and just $535 after 6% rebate. Also take another 6% off all in-stock Napoleon grills. We'll have our pros deliver and install or take it home today. Prime Appliance, it's the best place to buy your appliances.
Doesn't really matter who you are, where you live. You happen to any family.
People reach a crisis moment and they don't see any other way out.
Suicide is the fourth leading cause of death for people ages 25 to 34. People struggle with it every day.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Tiffany. If you or your loved one struggles with their mental health and or thoughts of suicide, no, you are not alone. Reach out for help and talk to someone.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear. Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Coming up Thursday on CBS 3 this morning, why UMD is partnering with an assisted living facility, how they're helping with care there.
And rain showers continue to linger for Thursday, but temperatures start to trend cooler.
So wake up with us starting at 5 a.m.
Get your news on the go, the CBS 3 mobile app.
Tis the season, ladies and gents, and no, I'm not talking about the holiday season. I am talking about hockey season. This weekend, the Bulldogs host the Icebreaker Tournament at Amsoil Arena, where both the men and women will welcome in top 10 matchups on home ice. Scott Sandelin and his pack skate into this weekend with a sweep over number 15 Bemidji State, thanks to a third-period game-winning goal from former Hermantown superstar and sophomore Blake Biondi. With the pair's sweeping victories completed, the Bulldogs reserved their number 5 ranking in this week's USCHO poll. On Friday, it's a rematch of the game that never happened in last year's NCAA tournament. Positive COVID-19 tests on Michigan's team knocked them out of the big dance before they were set to play UMD in the first round. This year, the Wolverines are back and stronger than ever. They have 7 first-round draft picks on their roster, including 3 of the top 5 picks from last year's NHL draft. The Dogs sure have their work cut out for them.
They're older. They've added more pieces to that puzzle. But, you know, Michigan's always been a team that plays up-tempo. They play fast. They skate. I've always enjoyed playing them in the years just because of that. There's not a lot of holes to their team, but, you know, again, that's why you play, and we're excited to play them, and we know what kind of game it's going to be, and it's a great challenge for us early in the year.
I know the way we play is it's really tough to play against, and it gives us a chance to win every single night. So I think it's going to be awesome. I know everyone's super excited for it. There's a lot of hype around the game, so it should be special.
Biondi adds that this will be a great challenge for them because they want to be back as one of the Final Four. With a test against number 3, this will provide just that. The Bulldogs in the Big Blue battle in UMD's barn on Friday. Puck drops at 7:37. Fresh off the emotional high of an overtime win over the Gophers this past weekend, the UMD's women's hockey team has another big series at Amsoil this weekend. The Bulldogs will be hosting the #1 team in the country and reigning national champions, the Wisconsin Badgers. Both teams made the Frozen Four last season, but UMD actually took 4 of 6 possible regular season points from the Badgers a year ago. Their 2-game set this weekend will be played Friday and Sunday.
From last year's series, that's what we did a good job of, is keeping the puck when we have it, putting it in places where we can get it. We can win foot races with any team in the country, so we have speed. We want to use it. I think our forecheck was really good the last time we played them. That's how we want to play again.
Minnesota and Wisconsin, I'd say, are fairly similar teams, so to have kind of a weekend to get adjusted to that speed and then go right back at it this next weekend will definitely be helpful.
Puck drop on Friday is at noon, and we'll have it live on the My9 Sports Network. So here's what's coming up next on Friday night. 3 games on My9 Sports starting at noon, leading up to the top 5 matchup between UMD and Michigan at 7:30. Kristen, that is going to be not just exciting, but thrilling. I mean, I don't know. Have you gotten your tickets yet?
No, I haven't, but I'll be watching either way.
Hey, watching with just some better weather. I hope some
Exactly.
sunshine.
Yes, and you better rest up. Sounds like you're going to be busy.
A big week.
Thanks, Alexis. Well, tonight on the CBS 3 News at 10, last year, Ashland created a police task force hoping to create better relationships within the community they serve. Now they're holding their last meeting of the year. Tonight we'll hear from members of the task force and the community to learn how policing in Ashland changed this year. The tall ships will set sail on Lake Superior again next year. The Festival of Sail organizers announced they plan to make a comeback in 2022. The event was last held in the Twin Ports 2 years ago when thousands of people came to Duluth to check out the iconic ships, but the pandemic put things on hold for a bit. Next month, organizers plan to share more information, including dates for next year's festival. Duluth city leaders say organizers haven't started the permitting process just yet. Dave, last time they were here, we did a live show from a ship. We're going to have to plan to do that again. It was a good time.
Yeah, that was a good time. The weather was a little bit iffy, but
Yes.
it was perfect for nautical situations. You know, a sailing ship needs a little bit of wind, and we've got some pretty high winds going through tomorrow, along with a fairly high chance for rain, about 60% tonight, fading away fairly early tomorrow and yielding a mostly cloudy sky. Then we get a little sunnier by Friday, and high temps near 60 on Sunday could be one of the picks of the litter.
Thanks for joining us. See you at 10.